Hi guys, welcome back to For All Mankind. We're on episode 6. We spent a good portion of the last episode up in space, and we ended it out with them finding Ice, Cobb coming through, then Ed and Cobb deciding, well, Ed more than anyone, that I'm not going to let this go this time. They meant to be on what you would class as a fact-finding mission, and just to locate the ice to be absolutely sure. But the huge crater that's, what do they say, it's like 2 or 3 times deeper than the Grand Canyon. But you don't need to go to the bottom of it. You just needed to go down enough, a couple of 100 meters. So they took the decision to land. And an ingenious plan to turn the rover into basically a winch with one of the wheels. Cobb went down there. They've confirmed they found the ice. That puts them back on track. And we saw it end at the episode where a larger module has come down now to land. So they're still in it. We don't know where the Russians are. They're probably going to have located. The problem is, are the Russians going to have located it in the same place? Are they like the other side of the crater? I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, so let's go find out. Episode 6. Where are we now? Have we moved on at all? Oh, Jesus, we have Apollo 23, August 74.
Oh, looky here, boys. Gene Kranz, the new director of Johnson Space Center, deigns to visit us common working stiffs. Hey, listen, you tell Neil that I guarantee we'll do a better job of landing than he and Buzz.
I think everyone did a better job of landing than he and Buzz.
Copy that, Kennedy. Holding at 1 hour and 10 minutes for flight handoff.
How many years
You
have
have
we
our
moved
settlers
on
on the line?
4?
I do indeed, Deke.
Houston, this is Jamestown Base. We read you.
Communications dish the lot.
Without us.
Because today, a woman becomes one of our flight directors for the very first time. By the leadership she demonstrated during the establishment of Jamestown Base. Her ability is unquestioned, her character and integrity. It is my honor and privilege to present to you our new White Team Flight Director for the launch of Apollo 23, Irene Hendricks.
Okay. They threw me off. Fuckers.
And I'm proud to lead this group of exceptional professionals.
Okay.
Now let's get back to work.
And Irene, now that you're in charge, we got a few bones we'd like to pick with you.
That bird was supposed to get here 2 weeks ago. Day 1, already behind, Irene.
The final minutes in the vote to ratify the Equal Rights Amendment in the Illinois State Senate. And the tally is very close. 36 states have ratified the amendment, leaving it only 1 state shy. And the vote
Eyes are watching.
is yay.
Damn. Oh, that's actual archive footage.
Should only be a few minutes before we swap it out, and we'll clear the tower.
I got nowhere to be.
I hold in my hand the prime crew of Apollo 24.
Why do we get the feeling there's a reason you're keeping me in suspense?
Don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you do.
The astronauts are, in ranking of seniority, Ellen Waverly, Mission Commander, Deke Slayton.
What?
What? You putting yourself up there?
What are you doing? You've had a heart condition since Mercury. Everyone knows that.
Which has officially been noted as no longer a flight risk by the medical staff. And as chief of the astronaut office, I'm assigning Deke Slayton to prime crew on Apollo 24.
Can you not talk about yourself in the
As
third
far as I'm
person?
concerned, that's the final word.
And I would really like to include Mrs. Stevens in these discussions since her son is one of the boys involved.
Well, Mrs. Stevens is unable to attend due to the demands of her job. As is her husband. And my husband.
Yeah.
Both of whom are on the moon. at
So
this
good
moment.
luck with that.
I'm aware of that too, Mrs. Baldwin.
Thank you for bringing this to my attention. I can assure you I will handle it from here. Thank you. Word out of either one of you until we are home, and then we will discuss the appropriate consequences for the vandalization of school property.
Didn't expect to hear anyone in a school environment say the word antisocial behaviour in the 70s. It just was not a thing.
Dad's face today.
No way Americans are gonna watch their daughters march off to war.
No.
Believe me.
Yeah, but there's a lot less likelihood of you dying in space than getting shot on the battlefield.
I'm hungry. Do they still have those double-decker cheeseburgers?
Fido, do we have updates?
What the
on
fuck
launch
just
window?
happened?
Yes. Last flight, we came close to exceeding angle of attack limits.
Look! Look! Oh my god. Wow. Damn. Home again.
The tragic deaths of 12 members of the ground crew caught in the tower during the explosion, including Gene Kranz, the newly appointed director of Johnson Space Center, continued to cast a pall over the entire program. Astronauts Baldwin, Stevens, and Poole have been receiving resupply provisions via unmanned Titan rockets while they wait for NASA's Board of Inquiry.
What the fuck happened in the investigation?
KGB operatives might have sabotaged Apollo 23 as a way of delaying work on the Jamestown base.
But why is the FBI still going down this rabbit hole?
We know the cause. And it wasn't some Russian secret agent.
Right.
Board of Inquiry will give him full cooperation. Thank you all for coming.
If an astronaut had died on that pad, there'd be a hell of a lot more than a plaque and a picture. After Apollo 1, you couldn't turn on the television or look at a magazine or newspaper for months. But one of us dies, one of the faceless, nameless grunts in Mission Control, and it's picture and a plaque, and then back to Happy Days and $6 Million Man. They're just the other 11 guys.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I'm not on duty, and it's none of your goddamn business.
Yes. You work in a dangerous job, there's always the chance. And of course, the people who are the front of it, your astronauts, are the famous ones. They're the heroes, they're the ones that always get reported.
Octavio Rosales, he's one of the janitors.
Oh, Octavio. Yeah, I know who that is.
He talked to one of the security guards who said it was okay.
This girl's smart.
Logarithms. Hated those.
They're not too difficult.
Really?
Not yet.
For me. Because there's no direct connection between her and her family in the show.
You wanted to see me,
at all.
Mr. Wiseman?
Have a seat, Miss Madison. The Board of Inquiry would like you to collect an outside report that was prepared on the Saturn explosion and bring it to us. Irene Hendricks was the most qualified person to become White Team Flight Director.
Even though she's been with the agency for less than 5 years while I started at NASA in 1966.
But I'm afraid the book is closed on that subject.
Fine.
This is a delicate situation. 2 months ago, the board asked an outside experts to conduct a thorough analysis of the entire Saturn program. Now, that analysis is finished.
Metal fatigue and the second stage, LH2, fill drain valve caused a leak leading to the explosion.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Metal fatigue on a new part? No, that just doesn't make any sense unless it's a reworked part that had been taken off a previous spacecraft that has already been in flight. Then metal fatigue. But you don't get metal fatigue from a new part. You can have a manufacturing defect, but you don't get metal fatigue unless something has been put through the strenuous, through the actual test of it actually being on a spacecraft or an aircraft or whatever it is it may be for the metal fatigue to actually wear over time. Why
can't this outside expert just mail in his findings? Or have one of your flunkies go pick it up?
He will only give the report to you.
I know who it is. You know who it is, don't you?
This isn't personal. He built the Saturn V, and we need his analysis.
Yeah, that's why they're asking.
The man is a war criminal. He should be prosecuted.
That is your opinion. We need the report prepared by Dr. Von Braun, and he has informed us that he will only give it to you.
The fucking nerve and cheek of this.
Has received its first crew of 3 cosmonauts and is now fully operational. The Zvezda base, also situated on the rim of Shackleton Crater.
I want to let you know that I've decided to pardon you for all crimes that you may have committed in connection with the Watergate break-in, not to prosecute former political opponents in the criminal justice system.
Really?
Don't get on your high horse with me. I don't want your fucking pardon.
I don't need your permission, Dick.
Is that a threat?
A little less time in Palm Beach.
Damn, Nixon was a prick. So these are now stuck up here longer than they were supposed to be because Apollo 23 was meant to come and replace them. I'm assuming that's what it was for, as well as resupply.
They don't even know when we're getting back from here.
No.
I know. That's why I didn't want to lose it. I mean, it's a great price, perfect location. It's near the boys' school.
Why don't you move into it then?
Oh, so you and Sheila can finally have the house to yourselves.
Danny's taking a shower.
Well, don't forget to wash your back.
I don't want to screw Danielle. Okay?
Okay.
I'll see you next time.
I mean, you can't blame her. She knows of his infidelity already. So they're stuck up here.
Sorry, Danny.
Don't worry, Gordo. I don't want to screw you either.
Mr. Wilson, are you familiar with an area of Houston called the Montrose District? Do you frequent that area? Have any relatives or friends in that area? So you've never been to an establishment called the Bayou Landing?
Oh dear.
Don't think so.
They've been watching you.
The Bayou Landing is a dance hall.
Is that a gay one?
For homosexuals.
You know where they go with this.
Huh?
This is twofold.
Lots of European types, bikers, artists, militant homosexuals. In Houston?
I wasn't expecting to hear militant and homosexual put together as a derogative term here. This is twofold. This is to weed out anyone that they think that is homosexual. And because the FBI is having to be so thorough here, they're trying to see if anyone has this kind of personal or private background that can be got to by radicals or the KGB or the Russians or whatever, to be able to manipulate and to convince you to work for them, to swap sides, to keep your secrets at bay, to basically be a convert. So yeah, they will be actively probably checking every relatively senior member of staff here for anything in your private life that could be seen as a way in for the enemy to be able to manipulate you to keep your secrets.
Where were you? Last Saturday? Home in bed. Ask my girlfriend.
Really?
That would be...
You digging a hole. Your own hole.
Ellen Waverly.
She's
dating
got
3 years.
She's got stuff to hide too.
3 years is an awfully long time.
That isn't.
Most girls would have dragged a man down the aisle by now. It's hard to say for a ring on a government salary. Sure you can understand.
You can feel the tension in the room.
I think I do. I've sailed through 50 security clearances. I know these guys. And this one
is different.
This one's just dying to find a coven of little NASA fairies to bust.
Anything.
Why does he care so much?
The feds see it as a security risk.
Yes.
He'll be talking to you eventually, and he's gonna be looking for ways to trip you up. Don't believe anything he tells you.
The problem is that, I mean, any investigator, I'm sorry if I keep pausing it, but I don't want to miss important dialogue. The way that that guy just conducted that interview, they come over as, I already know all of this. And you are probably aware that I could be lying, that I don't have anywhere near as much information on you as I say I have. But the way in which it is presented to you tells you that I already know. I'm asking for your confirmation. You know, when you say to somebody, where were you last night? And they say, and you're like, are you sure that's where you were? The confidence of coming over, of going, I already know. I want you to confirm it to me. And that's when they go, I didn't know. Thanks for telling me. It is a security risk, and they're using that as an excuse.
Am I going to be committing a felony here?
Yes.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, you are.
You can tell them the truth.
And be out of the
program.
program.
Both shit-canned out of NASA and held up as degenerate perverts before the whole world.
Why you were a degenerate pervert because you like the same sex? It was ridiculous.
All right, I'm here. I don't know what it is you want, but I'm here.
Or to give you something that nobody else has.
Go by your house?
Yours needs to do a better paint job on the mailbox. Please tell me we're not here to talk about my father.
I tried to talk to you at his funeral, but you left without a word.
I had work. I'm not staying for dinner.
I believe I have a good burgundy to go with it.
That means you are.
Is that what you want?
Forgiveness.
Forgiveness? Is that it? Okay. I forgive you for all of your many sins.
Give me a report.
There. Are we done now?
I only want you to listen so that I can tell you things, important things.
Well, get on with it then.
I wanted you to know.
Then
That man had every opportunity to tell me whatever he wanted. A whole lifetime. And now I'm supposed to hear some words from beyond the grave delivered by...
Margot, will you allow me to do that? Your father and I met in the faculty club bar in the spring of 1951. He was a brilliant physicist.
What is it you don't know?
Uncommon insights into the nature of matter. This is what broke him. Now, I do not pretend to understand his feelings about this, and I certainly did not share his perspective. You were the most important thing in his life.
Don't do that. Don't try and polish up his act now that he's gone. You know what mattered to my father? His stamp collection. He'd come home at 5:30 every night on the dot, have 2 martinis, and he'd then spend the rest of the evening in his study with his records and his stamp. That was it. That was his life, nothing else. Not my mother, not me. Nothing.
He did some very secret work for the government.
He worked on advanced radar systems for the Army Air Corps. I know because my mother told me about it.
She didn't tell you everything because she didn't know. Had a top secret clearance.
This is why you want to reveal.
So perhaps he felt I could understand his experience. Started working on radar in 1942, but within the year he was recruited on something much bigger. By Robert Oppenheimer.
Oh, fuck. Do you know what? I was worried that that's what he was going to say. It sounds to me like a father has had the contents of what he's got in front of her here for this box and what he's just started to reveal there before we hear the rest of the story. As to why he was distant and closed off from the rest of his family, that he's paying his own penance for what he's been involved in, and then cut himself away from his family completely, especially his daughter, if that's the way he behaved with her. So the only person who ever really truly knew who he was and what he was capable of and what he'd done is why he didn't know your father.
He worked with John von Neumann to devise a method whereby a plutonium core could be compressed into a critical mass through a spherical implosion. It was brilliant work. Their work led directly to the creation of the weapon that was used on Nagasaki.
Yes.
That man.
Yes. The bombing had a profound effect on your father. In retrospect, he felt as if he'd been a participant in something horrific, something evil. He and I discussed the moral ramifications of the atomic bomb many times. I tried to tell him that he had saved millions of lives by avoiding the invasion of Japan. It was only at the end of his life that he decided, you should know the truth.
Too ashamed.
But he could not bring himself to tell you.
Too ashamed. This is why do you hear? Explains where the brilliance comes from. Fathers don't lie. What a hell of a way to find that out. I wouldn't have put these two together.
I've been thinking.
That's the waitress, isn't it?
We should take a break for a while.
Don't do that. You do that, you're just telling her she's not important to you.
Yeah. It's the FBI and, I don't know. Say it.
She can't admit.
I don't know where this is going.
Not what anyone ever wants to hear in a relationship.
Oh, did you mean this? I don't know. Where would you like it to go?
That's not going to work.
I mean, I'm not sure that it can go anywhere. It could be just a phase. Kissing girls is just a phase for you? Maybe.
Oh, don't do that.
Yeah, remember that? Was that 8 or 9 years ago? I thought it was just a phase. Something I do
it's
for
not
a while,
a phase.
and then it
For people that are like this, it's not a phase.
It's all still very new to me. Sometimes it doesn't even seem like it is me, like I'm someone else when I'm with you.
You're supposed to be, you stupid cow.
So do I. When I'm with you.
Now may I have your report so I can go?
Yeah.
You will return tonight?
No.
It's a long drive. Perhaps you could stay?
No. Wipe everything away between us. Can't you see that? What you did in the war, it's not the same as what my father did.
A comparison I do not invite.
From her point of view now...
Let us leave this acrimony. I saw your talent when you were but a little girl. I will never forget the look on your face.
Stop. Which is why you're
when you
a
started
musician.
to take piano lessons, it was like the world suddenly opened up to you. I gave you that insight. I encouraged you, challenged you, and pushed you when your father could not. Wow. But wanted to.
I appreciate all that.
I mean,
I do.
he's got a point.
Okay?
He's got a point.
Thank you. Is that enough?
Is this enough? Is this enough to separate the man from his work? We all know people of his caliber, the hubris that they have in them, their brilliant mind, and their one-tracked focus of understanding, as he says, the mathematics, the universe, how everything comes together, how everything works. They want to be remembered to have accomplished something that no one else has accomplished. But he's also just described how he saw the same qualities inside her as a child that her father had closed himself off from because of the work that he'd been involved in. And he has channeled and honed her into her being the person that she is today and pushed her to where she is today. So he's cared enough about her to want her to become the best that she can possibly be. But at the same time, you're pushing them down the possible same route. Do you separate the man from the work, or are they one and the same when it's of this type of man that we're talking about here? Same as her father, same as Von Braun.
You are wasting your talent.
Difficult.
Wasting your God-given gifts.
Doing what you're doing.
I've done pretty well.
But not as well as Irene Hendricks.
I'll get there.
Where? Flight director? What is your goal? Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
No, you won't.
I'll be running NASA.
No, you will not.
No, he's right, you won't.
You are not what is called a team player, Margot.
I'm part of the team in mission control.
Because I was your mentor. You have seniority, experience, impeccable credentials. So why were you passed over for flight director?
Yes.
Why?
I don't know.
You don't play the game. You don't play the game.
It is because you do not play the game. You resist forming the social bonds necessary to be seen as a team member, insisting that merit and merit alone is the only important metric for advancement.
And it's
Therefore, you are not and will never be seen as a team leader.
Then it's
Can I have
waste.
the fucking report now?
Oh, man. I hate this guy, but he's so eloquently stating the obvious here. He is spot on.
It's not about whose name is on that report, but what happens to the information it reveals.
Meaning what?
Really?
The board believes the explosion was caused by the second stage LH2 valve. You think it was something else?
No. Why did it fail?
Defects in the manufacturing process.
Yes, but again, why? Do you know why the thousands of contractors and subcontractors who supply the Saturn V are spread across the continental United States?
Yes, it's politics.
Do you think it's an accident that so many are located in key congressional districts? When I was reviewing the supply chain for the Saturn as part of my analysis, I was puzzled to find that the LH2 valve was manufactured by Kirkland Aerospace, a company located in Rockford, Illinois. Then, in early 1973, NASA changed contractors. You don't need to read the report. Think. Why give a contract to a company in Illinois?
Yeah, think about what's going on in the world.
What was politically important about that state to the administration that had just taken office in 1973?
The Equal Rights Amendment.
Correct. He's so perceptive.
A huge contract.
Yeah.
And in a district where he needed support for his own re-election campaign. It's all in the report.
It's all about politics. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. 12 people
For a
are dead.
political vote.
Yeah.
Not only Gene, 11 other men.
This show's incredible.
This is gonna cause a firestorm in NASA. In Congress, the White House.
If it is made public.
No. Be smart here. I know what's coming out of his mouth next. I mean, I haven't said this, but I know what's coming out of his mouth next. He's just said to you, you will never accomplish where you're supposed to be because you're not prepared to play the game. You're not prepared to be a team player. You're not prepared to look at things the way a politician would, or somebody who is trying to gain traction somewhere. Yes, that will cause a firestorm, as you've named it in NASA. But not if you use it in the right manner. And you use it to your advantage. And you use that to advance your career. That's where he's going. I want to see how he words this.
Why wouldn't it be?
Duh.
The board's whole report will be made public.
Administrator Weisner will take my report, classify it as top secret,
And stick it in a
bury
drawer.
it, never to be seen again.
No.
Wisner may not be the best administrator we've ever had, but he's not that cynical.
No, he'll never let it go
political
public.
Creature to Kennedy.
Correct.
And he will not allow Teddy's great achievement of passing the ERA to be stained by this sort of ugly politics. The only question that remains is who will benefit from this situation.
Him or you?
What are you saying?
Wake up, girl!
Every political system is flawed.
Correct.
And every bureaucracy is corrupt.
Get what you want by keeping hold of the report, and that you will never go public with it. This show's good. This show's good because it's not just doing the space bit. You know, it's given us the politics. It's given us the background. It's given us an alternative history as to what's going on here, and it's given us the character development that goes along with it. He may be a war criminal. Whether you see him that way or you don't see him that way, she certainly does. She's now found out stuff about her father that she didn't know, which is just as bad, if not worse. Also explains why she never really knew her father, that he cut himself off from the rest of the world and his family because of the things that he had agreed and been involved with. And now he's giving you a report that gives you a serious political manoeuvring point for you to elevate yourself, just as any fucker else would. And he's right, your administrator, whatever his name is, I can't remember, would just classify and stick it in a drawer. And then you've lost all of your advantage, all of the maneuverability that you've got to determine where you go next.
Sit right here and wait until I call you in. Don't move, understand?
He looks drained.
Get pregnant without you.
You better not.
Well, yeah, you better not.
What do you mean?
You look haggard.
I'm fine. It's
Yeah,
just
right.
Long days. So, where's Shane? Is he there?
No, Weeblos meeting.
Don't give him stuff he can't do anything about while he's up here.
We do too.
Yeah. I don't blame him for doing that.
You know, Shane asked me the other day, why can't Dad just come home?
Yeah, I explained to him that, you know, after the rocket blew up, it meant that a relief crew can't come and take your place.
Yeah.
My orders are to hold this post until I'm properly relieved, so...
Correct.
You know,
That's what I'll do.
Hold until relieved.
It could be a long time.
Sorry, just a minute. What's up? Hi, Bob.
Hi, Bob.
Hi, Bob. Okay. Just watch your O2 this time. Yes, sir.
Everything all right up there?
Oh, yeah. It's, from the Bob Newhart show.
We've been asking, but so far it's just the same 6 episodes Bob Newhart.
Oh, God.
And Gordo's apartment hunting, is that part of the show, or?
No, he likes to take these long walks outside, apartment hunting, for some reason.
Because that's what his wife's doing.
Just clears his mind. It's a healthy thing. I love you too.
That's tough. You've got to have some severe mental stability. It's been a totally different episode to the last one. Totally.
Your father's very disappointed in you. You're grounded for 3 weeks. Let's go.
Yeah, that's her doing.
I know that this assignment wasn't easy for you, Margot. And I just want you to know that the Board of Inquiry is very appreciative of the enormous personal sacrifice it entailed.
Will Dr. Von Braun's findings be included in the final report on the explosion of Apollo 23?
Never.
I am classifying this report as top secret as of this moment. Right. You are bound by oath as a government employee not to reveal any of your knowledge about this report, or even that it exists, with revealing classified information and spending 20 years in a federal penitentiary.
And that
do I make myself
is how they keep people quiet,
Miss Madison?
Every system is corrupt.
Correct. It is.
I made a copy.
Thank you. Good woman.
I could have you arrested right now.
Fuck you.
And I have a friend who will mail it to the New York Times tomorrow morning unless I personally tell them not to.
What do you want?
I can't believe she did it.
What I deserve.
That's how it works.
Flight director.
I don't care how you do it. Make it happen. You know when you see people put in positions like, how the hell did they get that? That's how.
You need one of these.
Oh.
It's called a slide rule. Come see me in my office in...
Is that the one he gave her?
20 minutes, and I'll show you how to use it. I'm Margot.
She's going to do something for her,
You
though.
play the piano?
Von Braun did for you. You need to learn.
You're going to learn.
Yeah, you are.
I'm feeling the strain.
So, as suspected, I suspected, the explosion was fuck all to do with the KGB. It was a diverted product. You're the first man to ever say it. That's bonkers, isn't it?
Jamestown base.
Oh, I thought they were 8 kilometers away. Have you run that far? Who knows? Okay, guys, episode 6. That was a totally different episode, as I just said in commentary at the end there. That was more about her learning about her father and having that whole discussion with Von Braun. And him, I mean, he's a seriously intelligent man, as was her father, as she is. And he's seen her as his apprentice, and he explained thoroughly how he's cared for her and how he played the father figure part when her father couldn't, which is what she's now looking to pass on to this girl, this Mexican girl that we know nothing about, that the tie-in to the rest of the show doesn't seem to have any connection to, so that's what it has to be. It's nothing to do with her father here. Her father just happens to be the janitor here that's opened the door for her to be where she is. Just right place, right time. But gaining all that information, but I think the most valuable thing he gave her here was explaining, this is what I know exactly is going to happen with this report after I give it you and you hand it over. And I've explained to you that every political system is corrupt. Every system is flawed. Nothing is perfect. Even when you try to make it be. But in general, they're never perfect anyway, because everyone is looking for their own, looking out for their own and wanting their own path, their own career, their own promotions, their own path to as high as they can possibly get. So people are making deals. People are withholding information, burying information, revealing information, pardoning people for Watergate. All of it, it's all about taking care of number one and giving her the heads up that you just being really, really smart isn't enough. You should. I thought when they introduced at the start of this episode that she was going to be flight director. She absolutely should be, but she's got passed over, as he's explained, because she didn't play the game. So play the game. Play them at their game. Play the politics of the situation, because they will crucify you on it. He's just basically threatened her with God knows how many years in prison for committing a felony for revealing secretive, classified information, because I'm about to classify something that's sat on my desk. So use it. That was really good. That was really good. The problem we've got now, like you said, is otherwise these 12 men have died for nothing. Make it count for something. I can't believe he died. 11 others, and he died as well. So it really was a manufacturing defect for obvious reasons, because it's all because of a political vote. Changing companies, giving it to the contracts people at Illinois, which tied in with everything that was going on at the start of the episode with all the women sat in the bar waiting to see the result of the equal rights vote. I like that they've changed a lot of the story up in this. The Watergate thing was different. The equal rights thing at the time and everything, all of it's moved around dates-wise. And now we've got these three stuck up here, cabin fever, looking bloody awful. Now, what is that Gordy's just spotted there? Is it just the Russians, the other side of the crater, or have they come close? Have they started building? Have they started? I don't know. It could be weapons. It could be a weapons platform. It could be anything. We'll have to wait to find out. So, join me next week and we will find out. Don't forget to post your comments down below. Let me know what you think of the show so far. I think it's got a nice mix between character development, like I said, the politics side of things, which always goes with this, and then the actual space and the exploration side. I know it's going to keep moving forward and we're going to skip parts here. Interesting in that show that Tracy is still preparing for, I think, was it Apollo 27, if we get there, and he's kind of losing contact with the kids. At the same time, he's looking for a new apartment, and it's showing that by the father's being away, that the mother's having to take care of stuff. Unfortunately, Tracy's position isn't allowing to, and Ed's wife is having to take it all on, including the kids, the boys misbehaving, and sorting out the whole pregnancy thing. There's a lot going on right now, even though they've just moved the story forward to 1974. So we'll be in 74 when we come back. I'm assuming we will for a little while. Anyway, join me next time when I will be back for episode 7. Take care.